It's honestly getting insane how many times I have to hop on this mic right here and have to defend Kyler Murray. It's just people keep slandering this man's name, and I'm getting sick of it. Today's example is Brice Butler. You know, if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, you might know who he is. He's a former receiver who's most known for playing for the Dallas Cowboys and doing nothing, by the way. His best year, he had 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kinda insane that he's coming here and slandering quarterbacks, but hey, I digress. Not much I could really say though, because you know, he did make it to the NFL, so shout out to you, I guess. But I'm sick of seeing slander, so I'm coming for your neck right now. Because weren't you the same guy that got signed by the Arizona Cardinals and couldn't even make the 53-man roster? And this was back in 2018 when we were absolutely abysmal. This is when Steve Wilks was the head coach. You should have had no problem making this roster, but again, I digress. So why am I really hot right now? Well, if you guys haven't seen it, Brice Butler took to Twitter or his podcast, whatever it was, I'm not sure. I saw it on Twitter. Brice Butler, like a lot of people do, ranked the past 10 quarterbacks who were drafted first overall. And if you guys are looking at this list right now, you guys see Kyler Murray is number 10. No shade, no hate, but Jameis Winston, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, and Trevor Lawrence at the very minimum should be under Kyler Murray. And I love Andrew Luck. Honestly, loved Andrew. Thought he was phenomenal. Would have been one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time if the Colts protected him. But he only played, what, 6 seasons? 5 seasons? An absolutely ridiculous 6-year run, especially behind that offensive line. But that is debatable. Jared Goff, I would say up until this point has been better. Joe Burrow, same thing. And Cam Newton, of course. Cam Newton was absolutely electric. Legendary quarterback. You can hate on him all you want. You can't dispute that he was phenomenal in those couple years that he had. And he's an MVP, so gotta give him that. But I want you to look me dead in the eyes, and I want you to tell me that Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, who hasn't even played a game, Bryce Young, who I'm a believer in, but go look at the year he had his rookie year, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, literally doesn't even have a chance to prove himself, and then Jameis Winston, who's currently a backup. I love Jameis Winston too. I mean, one of the most infamous quotes of all time. Without the picks, I'm ballin'. But there's no reason that Kyler Murray should be number 10 on this list, and Brice Butler, I don't know what kind of drugs you're on. I know you're no longer in the NFL, so potentially there's something in that system, because this ranking is horrendous. And then he had to go on and say this. If I get copyrighted, so be it, but I'm gonna play the clip so you guys could see it. He was talking crazy about Kyler. Roll the tape.
Kyler Murray is too high.
Why?
Kyler Murray should not be number 5.
I thought Baker and Goff are better than Kyler.
Yes, I agree. When it's all said and done, you're going to agree with me. Right now, you might not, because like he had a quick little flash, but the Kyler Murray stuff is gone. It's over. And I'm on the grounds in Arizona.
You forgot about boots on the ground.
Yeah.
My boots are on the ground.
Put Trevor, Kyler, any of those guys in Detroit, they're popping off.
Kyler's not popping off anywhere because the thing that people don't know about Kyler is he's not really a leader, and people don't really surround themselves around him. That's the thing that like people don't really think about. They just look at his talent and go like, oh, he can go anywhere and transcend.
He's not a leader of men.
You have to be a leader to be a quarterback, dog. And if you're a quarterback that can't stand in front of your guys and say, hey, that was on me today.
As a receiver that played in the league, if you play with a quarterback that like doesn't take credit or is like kind of like you got to want to play for your guy, right?
That's the problem. If you're in the meeting and you know what's going on, but then he goes in the presser and says like, oh, this guy did this, or like, oh, whatever. And you're like, and then you see what goes on, and like you see him nah, bruh.
I don't see it from inside. I see it outside.
Right, so I'm an insider.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm an insider.
We got the inside scoop. No.
2 guys left, and then I'll go Jameis and Kyler. Kyler's last.
Kyler's last.
I don't see nothing. Like, I think hindsight, 15 years down the line, we're not going to say Kyler Murray was a dog in the league. We're not going to say it.
It's the fact that he had like the half a year where he was like in the MVP conversation.
It's always a half a year.
Of course.
Then he starts playing Call of Duty. Just think about this. The factual thing that we know about Kyler Murray is he's the only guy in history that we've known to where he had a watch tape clause in his contract. To tell you all you need to know.
So first thing I want to address real quick, because I had to listen to it again just to see how blasphemous it was. It was insanely bad, first of all. But the fact that he says he is an insider, like, oh, I got all the inside scoop, blah, blah, blah. My man, you never played a single snap with Kyler Murray. What are you talking about? What do you know? What do you know? What is the inside scoop that you're portraying that you have? Because clearly, I don't think you got anything. And then you're talking about, oh, well, that's why Larry Fitzgerald retired. You're just spewing at this point. You're shooting blanks, my boy. Larry Fitzgerald's come out and said nothing but positive things about him, and he has been an activist for Kyler Murray since entering his career. career. And maybe Larry Fitzgerald isn't super high on Kyler Murray's leadership. Who honestly knows at the end of the day? Only Larry Fitzgerald and a couple people that he's talked to probably know. I'm pretty confident that Brice Butler is not one of those people that he told, especially because you were on the roster in training camp. I don't think you know anything, my boy, especially because Kyler Murray wasn't even on the team when you were here. So what could you possibly know? And of course, you know too, Brice Butler had to mention Call of Duty. Shocker, everyone's go-to favorite thing to do. And then also, the thing that I think is kind of crazy too is he was talking about the watch tape thing, which is overblown by media because he's not in this position if you're not watching film. I think that's pretty consensus. But it's just the overblown narratives. Like, Brice Butler says he has inside sources, but I think his inside sources have to be ESPN, who just spews absolute BS 24/7. You use ESPN at this point as a news outlet, you need to stop and you need to go get some other credibilities because ESPN is not it. They're not credible anymore. They haven't been credible for the past like 6, 7, 8 years. Stop listening to them. Stop listening to these overblown narratives that they get paid off clicks. They're coming here and they're preaching the same 4 teams down your throat. It is the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Dodgers. It's all these the Yankees. It'll always be the top market teams. That's just how it is. Any chance they actually grasp to pour downward lighting on people and just spread misinformation and talk about negativity, they're gonna do that. The only coverage the Arizona Cardinals have had recently is just bashing Kyler Murray. That is genuinely it. And then until we got Marvin Harrison Jr. recently, that is kind of it. And what's kind of funny too is Brice Butler did post this on his Instagram as well. And Marcus Golden, who I respect a ton, love Marcus, heck of a career. I would love to have Marcus Golden retire an Arizona Cardinal. He said, Kyler has been maturing and becoming a great leader. I believe in K1. That's a guy who's actually played with him, and I'm sure Kyler Murray's leadership in the beginning of his career was a little rocky. Not everyone has it together at 19, 20 years old when you're taking over a franchise and you're just asked to do it all. Not everybody has that. Sometimes you have to come into your own, and I'm sure that's what happened with Kyler Murray. I'm not literally telling you guys that Kyler Murray was the best leader ever his whole career. I'm just saying the past couple years, it is an overblown narrative and it is absolute BS. And especially this past year, he has grown. So Kyler took to IG, commented right under that, hell of a take from a great receiver. Add this bum to the list of MFs with amnesia. At Brice Butler, stay over there. Brice Butler's a pure hater. You gotta stay on that side. No choosing, no backlash, no going back and forth. I don't want to hear Brice Butler retract that statement. You need to stand on business. And the funny thing is, he also said no. In the comments, Kyler was not my teammate ever, in case y'all were wondering. So this is just absolute stupidity by Brice Butler. And Roe Parrish even said you lose some credibility in the public eye saying this, and y'all never played together, my guy. It comes off as dry hate. But hey, what do I know? That's what I'm asking, Mr. Parrish. I don't know. I'm just sick of the backlash, sick of the hot takes. I'm just sick of all the negativity surrounding Kyler Murray. I literally hope he stays healthy for the entire season, proves everybody wrong, and just shoves it back in their face. Keep receipts, Kyler. Because I promise you, as soon as we start winning games, you guys are going to be right back on the side of Kyler, and I don't want to hear it. I've heard nothing but negativity. I know, especially in the comment section, a couple of you guys aren't fans of this guy. But even you guys are probably agreeing with me that it is getting very annoying, and it is kind of pissing y'all off. I support K1. He's my quarterback in the Cardinals. I love him. I'm not in that locker room either, but like, it's not hard to tell that he's grown immensely. Overblown narrative, absolute stupid. Brice Butler, I don't know what you're on. With that being said, that is pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Do you guys agree with me? Is this an overblown stupid narrative, or am I tripping? Maybe Brice Butler's right. Let me know whose side you guys are on. But with that being said, that is pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out.